Welcome fans inside the historic David E. Hastings Stadium. It may be a crisp 26 degrees here in Guelph, but hey, these two teams are looking to crank up the heat and keep you entertained all night long. I'm Josh Alderman, he's Jayden Prasad. Jayden, what do you think about these two teams heading into tonight's matchup?
It's going to be a good matchup, Josh, and the Guelph Royals have gotten off to a good start this season, and the Chatham Kent Barnstormers are looking for some revenge after Guelph did beat them earlier in this season.
Yeah, May 25th, it was an 11-8 Guelph Royals win, so the Barnstormers looking for a measure of revenge tonight. Speaking of those Barnstormers, let's take a look at their starting lineup for tonight. Leading things off is second baseman Evan Morrison, followed by center fielder Spencer Marcus. Mitsuki Fukuda, the catcher, following things up. In the four-hole spot, Timmy Wagner Jr. down at first. Third baseman Yushin Oda, left fielder Braxton Haggith, shortstop Torin Vasilenik, and right fielder Spencer Morin round out the defensive side of things with DH Robert Mackey rounding off the lineup. And Jayden, the defensive lineup for the Royals tonight is looking very strong top to bottom. Take us through it.
We've got Hammond, Williams, and Leader from left to right in the outfield. Nellis and Wilson on the corners on the infield with Morrow and Burns up the middle. Ward is the catcher for Niall Windler, who's getting us underway here with a first pitch strike.
Windler wasting absolutely no time pounding that fastball in before we even had a chance to finish up our defensive readouts. Wasting little time as that one's chopped down onto first. Wilson, that one takes a weird hop off the bag. It is going to be fair. Wilson will take it himself to retire Morrison. With Morrison retired, that will bring up the center fielder Spencer Marcus, who, believe it or not, Jayden, was one of the many Barnstormers that made last year's all-star roster. Marcus, he's quite the threat out there in center and right there at the dish.
Absolutely, and if I'm not mistaken, Spencer Marcus was the first player ever to sign with the Chatham Kent Barnstormers just last year.
First pitch, breaking ball outside and a little close to the dirt. Good pickup there by Ward, but just couldn't frame it in time. 1-0 the count. Wendler wasting little time, pounding the inside zone. Has gone from outside to inside. Breaking ball to fastball just like that, and just like that, it's a 2-0 count. That one's chopped foul. Close to the third base line, and almost had Mark Nellis chasing after it into the stands, but alas, 'twas not to be. 2-1 now the count. Windler gets something he likes. Winds up and delivers. This time Nellis is going to catch up to it. Tosses it on to Wilson at first and sends Marcus down. What an exciting play there. And if that's any indication, we are in for a very exciting game tonight, Jayden.
An excellent play there from the third baseman, Mark Nellis, just 18 years old from Toronto, snaring that one-hopper on his glove hand side, making the throw to first, making it look easy here.
Making it look easy indeed, and just like that, 2 outs here in the top of the first as that one's chopped into deep center field, but no trouble at all for J.D. Williams. Just like that, 3 up and 3 down. The Barnstormers are retired. Windler off to a hot start here at Hastings. And he quite the resume himself. Played in the Greater Toronto Baseball League with East York last year. Has spent the last 2 summers there, and he picked up quite a few accolades, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Niall Windler is a 26-year-old from Toronto. In 2023, he won Pitcher of the Year and Rookie of the Year with East York. He even has some minor league experience. In 2019, he spent the minor league season with the Minnesota Twins organization. Pitched 14.2 innings in rookie ball. Pitched to a 4.91 ERA with a whip of 1.7.
With those kind of stats, it makes sense why the Royals brought him in this year. A tough lefty, and hey, it may just be a small sample size, but if that top of the first inning was any indication, it may very well be a pitcher's duel, since on the other side of things is Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama. hailing all the way from Montreal, Quebec. He is just 23 years of age, throws left, spent the last 2 years playing in Japanese independent leagues. Comes in with quite an impressive resume already. Made a name for himself in the Montreal area. Like I mentioned, established himself in the Japanese independents. And Jayden, are you expecting to see an impressive night from him tonight?
Oh, absolutely. This is one of their many new signings, as the Chatham Kent Barnstormers, as you know, are a very new team, and the 23-year-old O'Connor Yokoyama is entering some of his better years of baseball. Played overseas for the past 2 seasons, and we'll see how that translates tonight into the Intercounty Baseball League.
Well, he's going to be facing a murderer's row from top to bottom as we take a look at Guelph's starting lineup. Center fielder J.D. Williams leading things off, followed by shortstop Connor Morrow, D.H. Garrett Takamatsu in the 3-hole spot. Cleaning things up will be first baseman Liam Wilson, followed by Andy Leader in right, Matthew Ward at catcher, Ethan Hammond out in left, third baseman Mark Nelson the 8, and second baseman Carson Burns rounding out the lineup. And it looks like it'll be J.D. Williams leading things off. J.D., a tenured vet, known as Mr. Left Turns Only around these parts. Plenty of speed, plenty of athleticism. There's a reason he has come back to David E. Hastings Stadium after the Royals' heartbreaking loss in the IBL Championship Finals last year. These Royals, the returning Royals, have something to prove. J.D. looking to lead the charge here, getting things off to a hot start as he takes that one just outside. Good patience from the veteran. O'Connor Yokoyama showing no hesitation, sending that fastball down and inside. JD is a tough hitter. He's had quite the hot start to the season. His stat line is looking quite impressive, and so is that swing as he chops a very tough ball out of play. And based on the reaction, some of the kids out there on the first base side are looking to find themselves a souvenir. Yeah, JD, quite the impressive stat line, has really made his mark early on in this season. He's going to chop that one down onto third. Great pickup there by Oda. Flips it on to Wagner Jr. at first, and just like that, J.D. Williams is retired. And now that we have a second to breathe, Jayden, why don't you take us through the defensive setup for the visiting Barnstormers?
We've got Haggith, Marcus, and Morin from left to right in the outfield. Ota and Wagner Jr. on the corners on the infield. Veselinik at short, Morrison at second. Fukuda is the catcher for Yuri. O'Connor Yokoyama.
Chatham running things back, a familiar lineup to those who follow the Barnstormers. They've stuck with some of those same players throughout their last 2-3 games. A lot of faces that may be getting tired as this one goes on, having played so many back-to-back, as Morrow chops that one up, and away. I'm sure someone going back to their car later tonight might find an unwanted souvenir smashed through their front windshield glass, but I digress. The 1-1 pounded inside, and great patience shown from Morrow. Jayden, are you liking what you're seeing from Connor Morrow so far in this at-bat?
He's being patient, waiting for the pitch he likes. He's taken a couple of close ones early. Let's see what he does here.
Ooh, tries the breaking ball outside. Doesn't go for him. And now O'Connor Yokoyama not being able to control his pitches has led to this 3-1 count on Connor Morrow. O'Connor Yokoyama set and delivers. That one sent high and back into left field, but shouldn't be any trouble at all, and isn't for the left fielder Braxton Haggith. A good catch there, and just like that, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and that will bring up Garrett Takamatsu.
Takamatsu is a 27-year-old from North York, Ontario. Last year with the Royals hit .287 over 143 at-bats. 4 homers, 32 RBIs, and more walks than strikeouts. Takamatsu hitting in the 3-hole today.
Takes that first pitch high and looks a little displeased about it. I think he thinks that it came a little too close inside, but he's not too shaken up. Right back in there as O'Connor Yokoyama gets set. Delivers the 1-0. That one called a strike. Really could have gone either way, and I think we've seen from Mitsuki Fukuda early on, he's done a good job of framing some of those pitches from O'Connor Yokoyama that may have gone the other way. As Takamatsu slaps that one into left field, that's going to drop down for a single. So it'll be 2 outs and 1 man aboard for the 4-hole hitter, Liam Wilson. Liam Wilson, very impressive resume, entering his 7th IBL year, was with Hamilton and the Kitchener Panthers, and brings quite a few accolades to this Royals lineup.
He is a 3-time All-Star in the IBL as he steps in the box here to face O'Connor Yokoyama.
Likes what he sees with that first offering, and that's going to drop into left field. Back-to-back 2-out singles for these Royals here in the bottom of the first inning, starting to heat up. I think they're early on getting a good read of what O'Connor Yokoyama is delivering. And with Wilson on board, that's going to bring up the well-tenured right fielder, Andy Leader.
O'Connor Yokoyama is not locating his pitches early, leaving those ones out over the heart of the plate. The one to Takamatsu was up, but he did a great job of driving it, getting on top of that ball, sending it into left field.
Yeah, it looks like left field might be the hot spot tonight for the Royals if they can keep things going. Andy Leader takes that one inside. Not liking that call there. 0-1 now the count. O'Connor Yokoyama checks in on Takamatsu. Takes his time. Delivers the 0-1. Outside, and like you mentioned, Jayden, he's having some trouble early on locating his pitches, and for all the good work Fukuda's done to frame them up, try and get those strike calls, it seems all for naught, right?
Yeah, I mean, time is called there. It was a balk, actually, on O'Connor Yokoyama. I'm not sure what he did, but the home plate umpire called it right away.
Ooh. I think DiBiase, the home plate umpire, kind of explaining things to the Barnstormers bench. They weren't too pleased about it. O'Connor Yokoyama wasn't too pleased about it. Not too many happy faces in the black and white pinstripes. Andy Leader gets set, the 1-1 pitch. Of course, that foul off doesn't count because it was a balk, so the count stays right where it is. Yokoyama sends that one, a fastball that had a good arc on it. Fukuda did his best, but the call wasn't in their favor. 2-1 now the count. And you can see, Jayden, both Royals runners taking pretty healthy leads, especially out there at second with Wilson. Doesn't really seem to have too much fear of O'Connor Yokoyama picking him off.
And you wonder if the Barnstormers, with a base open right now, are looking to walk Leader. Not intentionally, of course, but maybe pitching around him as he fouls one off.
Yeah, a bit of a late swing there from Andy Leader. Just got around to it in time, and I wonder if he would have gotten a call for a 4th ball if he had let that one slide, but no sense in worrying about the pass. The 3-2 delivered by O'Connor Yokoyama, chopped on the ground. Little confusion. Vasilenic flips it onto first just in time. Much to the displeasure of the fans, much to the displeasure of the Guelph Royals. The Kingdom can't believe it. Some calls against the the umpires. That was as close a call as you're going to get, Jayden.
Yeah, that's about as tough as a call as you're going to get for an umpire. Those bang-bang plays at first base can certainly be tricky. However, the Royals themselves did not argue, as they know they're not going to change that call.
We'll be back with second inning action just after this. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Kicking things off here in the top of the second inning here at David E. Hastings Stadium is going to be Chatham Kent Barnstormers' first baseman for the night, Timmy Wagner Jr. Jayden, what can you tell us about Wagner Jr.?
As he takes that first pitch outside, Wagner Jr. is a 22-year-old from Boston, Massachusetts. He's quite the utility man and can also pitch in relief as he takes a ball down. 2-0 on him early.
Niall Wendler sets up and delivers that one, chopped on the ground, picked up by Nellis, flipped onto first, big toss, big tumble from Wagner Jr., but the throw was in time. Excellent work, from Wilson to get that tag down as he jumped up in the air to catch that throw from Nellis, and yeah, just got down in time to grab that one. Beautiful, beautiful defensive play by Wilson out at first. That one sent out on a line by Yushin Ota, but it was just foul. And of course, as we see, as has become tradition here at Hastings Stadium, bunch of kids out in the crowd down the first base line, chasing after that one, look to get themselves a little souvenir. And that's something, Jayden, that most people love about David E. Hastings Stadium is the crowd. They're just so amazing, so electric, and oftentimes help the Royals get back into games, especially when they give up hits like that. A tough one, as Ota will settle for a single, feigned trying to go for second base as the throw coming in. It was a bit of a mix-up there between Hammond, Morrow, and Norris. All three of them went for the same time. None of them called for it, and it just dropped. So before I was so rudely interrupted, one of the best things about Hastings Stadium, Royals home games, is the crowd, Jayden. So electric, so amazing, and I mean, what variables did they bring to the table?
You can see just how engaged the fans tend to get here for the Guelph Royals, as they express their displeasure early on with a couple calls from the umpires, but especially the children in the crowd, you love to get them engaged in these games, which the Royals do a great job of doing, as that one is blasted to deep right, but caught by the right fielder, Andy Leader out there, tracking back, making the catch.
Yeah, some really hard contact there from Braxton Haggith, but Leader got there just in time, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Torin Vaselenek. Shout out to Neil Sriwastava for help on that pronunciation. Bit of a tongue twister. Folks at home, if you think you can do this, say that 5 times fast. Vaselenek. as that pitch just outside, 1-0 count.
Vasilinek is another guy for the Barnstormers who is a super utility man. Can play second, third, short, outfield, and even pitcher. As he takes a ball outside.
Yeah, last year he played second base, third base, shortstop, outfield, and pitched a bunch of games. He's already pitched, I believe, 1 game this season so far for the Barnstormers, and he knows a thing or two about pitching. Got out of the way of that pitch just in time. Read it right out of Windler's glove. And thank you, Neil, for the shout out. Glad to have you watching along. As that pitch, no doubt about it, a strike right on the money. Evens it out, sorry. Brings it around to a 3-1 count. And it looks like we'll get a little bit of a mound meeting early on here as Ward's gonna head out. And that looks like a trainer heading out to the mound. Maybe something's up with Windler early on. I mean, we haven't seen any activity in the bullpen. It's not like it could be a lingering issue. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Didn't look like he had any cramping. Didn't look like anything was bothering him. I mean, what could it be?
Yeah, that is real interesting. He looks like he's about to get out of this inning here with 2 outs and a 3-1 count on the batter. Clearly, he felt something. And the head athletic trainer, who's out there right now, made note of that. Made sure not to let him continue without a meeting on the mound. And they'll let him have all the time that he needs to get himself together.
And, oh wow, maybe not that much time, is coming off the bench, no warm-up really, in the bullpen or anything. That's Connor King heading out to the mound, and yeah, that is shocking. Something must have really gone wrong for Windler. Didn't even get to finish out the top of the second inning. As, yeah, it could be something with his arm. He seems to be walking off the field all right under his own power, which you love to see with any potential injuries. So it looks like we will get a new pitcher on the mound. And we will step away for just a second as Connor King gets his warm-ups in. So stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV because this action is just getting started.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. We're here in the top of the second inning. 2 outs and a 3-1 count on the batter. But we're coming out of an injury delay as the starting pitcher for the Royals, Niall Windler, exited the game. We will look to learn more on him later today, but for now, the pitcher that has entered the game is a 23-year-old Connor King from Toronto. Josh, what can you tell me about King?
Well, Connor King, former Guelph Griffin, so he's no stranger to the local area, but he's also no stranger to his opposition tonight. Spent last season with the Chatham Kent Barnstormers, and overall throughout his IBL career, he's got a pretty decent stat line, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of playing time here in the IBL, but this year he's looking at an increased workload with the Royals as he steps in here with already a 3-1 count on the batter, looking to finish up this inning.
Connor King taking his time, settling in here. Waits for the signal from Ward, likes what he sees, and delivers the 3-1. As Vasilenek sends that one pretty deep into center field. Andy Leader ranging all the way over. Crossing paths with J.D. Williams, and no trouble at all, hauls that one in. Danger averted as Chatham Kent leaves a runner aboard. So despite allowing a hit early on, Connor King comes in, shuts the door on Vasilenek. And that will bring up the home half of the second inning as the Barnstormers take back the field. And Neil, we are hoping that your editing is going very well, and hey, you never know. Tonight's matchup may produce another play of the week or even a player of the month, depending on how things go. I mean, Windler was looking like he was going to have a great night on the mound before, you know, an unfortunate injury, which, like Jayden mentioned, we will try and get a little more info on as the night goes on. Hopefully it's nothing serious. The fans cheering on Royals first base coach. And like we mentioned before, it's really something amazing. These fans here at Hastings, just so much love for this team through the highs, through the lows, so much support night in and night out, and that's what you absolutely love, love, love to see here in the IBL.
And I'm glad that it's a beautiful night here in Guelph. The past couple games, the weather has not been great, I wouldn't say, but tonight it's beautiful out here in Guelph on this Tuesday night. The sun looking to set in the next hour.
Yeah, and if there's anything I've learned from last season calling games here for the Royals on Guelph Royals TV, it's that once that sun sets, it gets frigid here at David E. Hastings Stadium. So a little plot point to keep an eye on as this one progresses. Connor Yokoyama's first pitch, a fastball right up Main Street, or so it would seem. Fukuda just couldn't locate it back down in the zone, so a 1-0 count on the catcher, Matthew Ward.
And already early on, O'Connor Yokoyama is having trouble locating his fastball. 2 straight pitches just up, as it's a 2-0 count here on Ward the catcher.
That one down in the dirt. And, I mean, if there's anyone that's going to be able to read a pitch right out of the pitcher's hand, it's going to be a catcher, as Matthew Ward, lets that one sail by. Fans not quite agreeing with the call, and that'll bring it to a 3-1 count. Slaps that one on a line. Bounces off a tree out there in the right field area, but it is a foul ball. So a full count now on Matthew Ward.
Ward has really got a battle here. Start this inning off right for the Royals. It's a full count on him.
Takes that one low, no doubt about it. So it'll be an early walk here in the bottom of the second inning as Matthew Ward heads up to first, bringing up the left fielder, the young gun, Ethan Hammond. Hammond, one of the returning members from last year's championship finals team. Looking to even things up. Try and get back to where they were last inning with 2 runners on board. Takes that one just outside. And one thing that we have kept an eye on, Jayden, is O'Connor Yokoyama's ability to locate pitches, or maybe lack thereof early on. He looks a little shaken out there on the mound.
Well, it all starts with the fastball as he gets that one in the zone on Hammond. The 25-year-old from Oakville last year with the Royals had a really nice season, hit .304 over 92 at-bats.
And you can hear the fans willing Hammond on to take a swing, take a hack at that one, potentially put the Royals up in the lead, but he lets that one go. 1-2 count.
Hammond looks at 2 strikes in a row. You got to battle now. At least move that runner over from first.
Well, that seems to be the goal as he chops that one up in the air, but shouldn't be much trouble at all for Torin Vaselenik. I'm never going to forget that pronunciation now. Thank you again, Neil. So just 1 Royal retired here in the bottom of the second. Still a runner out there on first.
Yeah, that's really not what you want there from Hammond. Took 2 strikes early on in the count and popped the last pitch up.
Nellis, the batter, third baseman tonight for your Royals, takes that one just inside. Like we mentioned before, Mitsuki Fukuda doing a great job of locating and framing up some of those pitches that may have gotten away from O'Connor Yokoyama, like we just saw there.
And that's a big block from the catcher there. You really don't want this runner from first getting into scoring position, especially that easy on a wild pitch. A huge move there.
Huge move indeed, as Ward takes a fairly conservative lead over there at first. Pitch outside, and it looks like the Barnstormers may have attempted to pick off Ward, but like we mentioned, very minimal lead. Playing it safe. Doesn't want to test O'Connor Yokoyama this early. As that one chopped back up the mound, a comebacker. Vaselenik throws it on to first. Pardon me, tosses to second for the 1 out and throws it on to first, but just can't catch Nellis in time. So still a runner on first, just a different one in Mark Nellis.
O'Connor Yokoyama did a great job of getting out of the way of that baseball and knowing where your defense is playing. He knew the shortstop would be able to range to his left and get to that baseball. Had O'Connor Yokoyama touched it, it might have corralled off of him, and we could be in a much worse situation for the Barnstormers. Luckily, just a man on first with 2 outs.
Yeah, crisis averted indeed. As the first pitch to Carson Burns, fastball outside, 1-0 the count, and just a fantastic defensive play there from Torin Vaselenik. He has done a great job out there at short. Some big moments early on.
And you will see those Royals runners over at first base taking conservative leads today. With the lefty O'Connor Yokoyama on the mound, you don't want to take any chances and take that secondary lead before he makes his move to the plate.
O'Connor Yokoyama with a mean fastball right up Main Street, and Carson Burns takes a big hack at that one. He was looking to go yard, put the Royals ahead early on, but no dice. The 2-1. That one high, and the crowd cheering on Burns. Little shouts of support, if you will. O'Connor Yokoyama keeping a close eye on Nellis over at first, but delivers. Inside again. He's really having trouble locating his pitches as he walks another batter. Carson Burns heads up, and this is where things get dangerous. He's so impressive, I'm stumbling over my words. It's J.D. Williams, Mr. Left Turns Only, the center fielder, coming up to bat.
As the Royals have now turned this lineup over here in the bottom of the second inning. J.D. Williams, the leadoff man, looking to cash in at least one of these runners. A base hit should do it with the outfielders playing fairly deep.
That one outside. 1 ball, no strikes, and thank you to the chat. While the Royals crowd does a lot to spur on the home side, give them energy, your nice comments directed towards us, the announcers, help us. You know, get into gear, give us a little extra energy heading through this one, so thank you guys for the fantastic comments. Yeah, Jayden, looks like O'Connor Yokoyama trying to settle in and just can't find his groove.
Certainly having trouble with the location, and you really don't want to walk Williams and have to face the 2-hitter, Morrow. I'd be surprised if the Barnstormers don't make a mound visit here. As that one is taken just down and out for ball 4 to load the bases, and sure enough, here comes the pitching coach for the Barnstormers, making a mound visit with Morrow, the 2-hitter, coming up.
Yeah, we aren't seeing any activity in the Barnstormers bullpen, so it looks like just a visit for now. A little something to try and set O'Connor Yokoyama straight. He's one of their top young pitching prospects, and obviously the Barnstormers hoping that this isn't an indication. I mean, we talked about his resume early on. We talked about what he brings to Chatham Kent, and such an impressive young pitcher. And seeing him struggle early on has got to spark some worry if you're the Barnstormers coaching staff.
It is certainly a little concerning, not only missing with the fastball, but also leaving that breaking ball right out there over the plate, and these Royals hitters have not been missing it. They have not been making things easy for O'Connor Yokoyama, but he hasn't been helping himself either. We'll see if that visit from the pitching coach will help set him straight. As we have bases loaded, 2 outs here with the shortstop, Connor Morrow, coming up to bat.
Yeah, Connor Morrow, another one of the familiar faces here at Hastings, a returning player from last year's squad, and definitely looking to make his mark on this game as he steps in. 2 outs and bases loaded here in the bottom of the second. Takes that one, a fastball on the outside corner. 0-1 the count, and a bit of a let's go Connor chant getting started among some of the younger members of the kingdom. That one inside.
And Morrow had himself an excellent time in last year's IBL playoffs. Hit .385 over 52 ABs. Safe to say, playing under the lights suits him very well.
Yeah, he is without a doubt a big moment player. As a good take from him there. Brings the count to 2-1.
It looks like the umpire may have just given up on that pitch early. It was a breaking ball, looked to be right at the top of the zone, but the home plate umpire didn't think so. It's 2-1.
O'Connor Yokoyama delivers down in the dirt, brings the count to 3-1. And if you're the Royals, I mean, you'd love to get a run on the board however you can. Maybe not like this. O'Connor Yokoyama, looks like the Royals have really got to him early on as he gets set and delivers. Ooh, that one right up Main Street. Another one of those mean fastballs. You mentioned before, Jayden, he is having a little trouble controlling it, but when he can locate it, it has been lethal so far. Full count, 2 outs, and bases loaded for Connor Morrow.
All runners will be on the move here. O'Connor Yokoyama with the pitch.
Ooh, that one looked inside. The Royals can't believe it. The fans can't believe it here at Hastings, but the call stands. A close strikeout on Connor Morrow as the Royals leave 3 men on base as we head into the top of the third. Well, this one really is just getting started. Chatham Kent Barnstormers against your Guelph Royals. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Spencer Morin facing off against the new pitcher for the Royals, Connor King. Came in last inning after the original starter, Niall Windler, went out with an apparent injury. Still no updates on him just yet, but he is looking all right there in the dugout. King really settling in on the mound. Getting things going here with an 0-1 count as drops down the bunt. King throws the fastball onto first. Just couldn't get it in time. Wilson tried his best to catch that one, get his foot on the bag, maintain his composure, but Spencer Morin, speed for days, got there just in time.
And Spencer Morin with a near perfect bunt there. That would make my old baseball coach so very happy. As the 9-hitter, Mackey comes up, the designated hitter tonight, looking to turn over this Barnstormers lineup.
Yeah, if there was a video definition of what a bunt should be, that was that right there.
And Morin certainly has wheels batting at the bottom of the order and playing right field. You can already see him getting a bit of an aggressive lead over at first base, and you wonder if he is going to test the arm early on of Matthew Ward.
We'll have to see how that one plays out as Connor King gets set, likes what he sees from Ward. 1-0 count. Runner goes. The throw is just in time. Tested the arm of Ward, and he just did not miss. Picture perfect. So we see a picture perfect bunt followed up by a picture perfect pickoff.
And what a throw there by Matthew Ward, right on the money to get Morin, not letting them turn over this lineup with anyone in scoring position as long as they can get Mackey here. That one is outside.
Yeah, brings the count to 3-0. Mackey, he's got the room. I imagine he'll swing at this next pitch, but Connor King, we've seen, he's very good at placing his pitches, whether that be fastballs, breaking balls, the like. Lets that one go and gets caught for his troubles. 3-1 the count.
Right on the corner there, a real nice pitch from King to get himself back in this count. It's 3-1.
Yeah, he's really settling in on the mound despite not getting the chance to warm up in the bullpen prior to his appearance. He did get a couple pitches, as is the regulation, but yeah, for the little bit of warm-up time that he had, very impressive start to his evening so far. Full count on Mackey. Delivers just a bit outside, tried for the corner and missed. So it'll be a runner on with just one out as we flip things over back to the top of the order and second baseman Evan Morrison.
And now that caught stealing from Matthew Ward looks so much more important. Instead of having first and second with nobody out, you've got just a runner on first with one out.
Much different situation now.
A huge play there by Ward.
King gets set, sends that one inside, and despite Ward's best efforts to frame it up.
And as much as it was a great play by Ward to get the runner at second, it also sent a message to the Barnstormers not to test his arm. And that's always a great thing to do early in the ball game.
Yeah, if anything, it sends a message. As that one gets chopped foul, and while no Royals players are going to get to it, plenty of Royals fans are going to go chase after that one way, way back towards the clubhouse. And you just love to see it. We've talked already about, honestly, how amazing the fans are here at Hastings. And that's just another example of why there's really nothing like Guelph Royals baseball. As that pitch goes just a bit outside, 2-1 now the count. Little smattering of applause from the away fans that have made the trip already.
And Morrison, the leadoff man, is getting shifted to the opposite field out there in the outfield. As you see, J.D. Williams is more towards left center. That one's taken for a ball just outside, as it's 3-1 now on the leadoff man, Morrison.
Yeah, just one out here, runner on first as Morrison. I think he'll settle for a walk here, but we'll have to see if he takes a hack at it.
Hitters count.
That it is, and hit he does, but Morrow waving off. Nellison Burns takes it himself. A nice clean catch. So now it's 2 outs, 1 man aboard for the 2-hole hitter, Spencer Marcus. Spencer Marcus was an all-star last year, one of many with Chatham Kent. He's having himself a fairly solid start to the season so far, a .364 batting average, amongst other notable achievements, as King delivers outside that. Pitch gets away from Ward. That's going to send the runner up to second with no opposition. Ward got to it, and honestly, it did look like that Mackey was going to try and run for it. Run for third, I mean.
Yeah, as the catcher in that situation, you really don't want to be trying to catch that baseball, as counterintuitive as it sounds. You got to get your body in front of it, block the ball, just to stop that runner from advancing.
That one in on the hands of Spencer Marcus. Marcus already 7 ribeyes on the season, looking to make it 8. And I'm sure the Barnstormers would love that, jumping out to an early lead here in the top of the third. Connor King gets set, delivers 2-0. That one just gets over his head. The runner's going to advance to third, but the danger is averted as Burns flips it on to Wilson at first. Down go the Barnstormers. They leave a runner aboard as we head in to the bottom of the third inning, and still no score in this one, Jayden. I mean, it's not quite been a pitcher's duel, but they have both put in good performances when it counts.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get those runs across, although we had multiple runners in scoring position for both teams so far early on. They haven't been able to get them to cross the plate, but hopefully that'll change here in the bottom of the third as the Guelph Royals look to do some damage.
Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama staying on as the pitcher as we head into the home half of the third inning. And I mean, is that surprising to you, Jayden, seeing O'Connor Yokoyama stick around for another inning?
It's not too surprising to me. After that mound visit in the previous inning, he seemed to settle down, find his location, and obviously he regrouped as he went back to the dugout with his pitching coach and likely his catcher as well. I would think that the Barnstormers are starting to plan for maybe a reliever to come in the next few innings. Who that is, we will see, but for now, O'Connor Yokoyama just looking to get back into the strike zone, get back in his groove, and give the Barnstormers some innings.
Yeah, it looks like we are seeing a player or two moving around, maybe tossing a ball or two around out there in the Barnstormers bullpen. Again, another thing to keep an eye on as this one progresses, but they are keeping O'Connor Yokoyama in as their pitcher for the time being.
Well, you certainly want more than 2 innings out of your starting pitcher, and O'Connor Yokoyama is looking to give the Barnstormers more than that. Limited the damage, didn't give up any runs despite giving up a lot of base runners, a lot of walks early on. Left a lot of balls out over the plate. Like one to this guy here, Garrett Takamatsu, who's coming up for the second time today, looking to do more damage.
A fixture of the IBL, entering his 7th year in the league. Picked up an MVP award a few seasons back with the Toronto Maple Leafs. As he's going to chop that one down to third. Oda fumbles with it, but does make the throw in time onto first. Wagner Jr. doing a great job of gloving that one, as just one pitch is all it takes to get Takamatsu retired. So just like that, it'll be the cleanup hitter, Liam Wilson, heading up. Wilson, as we mentioned earlier, a 3-time All-Star in his own right. Hasn't quite had the best start to the season heading into this matchup. A 158 batting average, 3 runs, just 3 hits, but 2 RBIs. And he's also been quite the patient hitter. 4 walks so far this season. And if you're the Royals, you'd take any one of those. A run, a hit, an RBI, even a walk at this stage of the game where still no score despite having so many men left on base.
Well, this is certainly the slower part of the Royals lineup. You see Takamatsu just grounded out to third, and the third baseman Oda did a great job of knowing the runner, knowing he had time, just getting in front of that ball, knocking it down.
Isn't going to be able to get to that one in time. As a very quick single for Wilson, and feigns heading for second, but he will settle for a 1-out single, bringing up the right fielder, Andy Leader.
Leader is 26 years old from Kitchener, Ontario. Last season hit an even .250 over 112 ABs with 2 homers and 14 RBIs.
He moved to the Royals partway through the season after spending quite a few years with his hometown club, the Kitchener Panthers, and really settled in here at Hastings. Looks at home, if you will, as he's going to look to make this home crowd happy. Fouls that one back, an 0-2 count. He has such a patient demeanor. He waits for the pitches that he likes, and when he can, puts bat to ball. Just wasn't able to that last time out. The 0-2 had some break on it last minute, and Fukuda almost lost it in the dirt, but able to recover. 1-2 count. Chops that one just foul. I mean, even Leader himself wasn't quite sure which way that ball was going to fall, but keeps him alive in this one. Still a 1-2 count.
Leaders putting up a good at-bat here, just fighting off pitches, trying to force O'Connor Yokoyama into making a mistake.
I think that's exactly the mindset right now. He's tired. It looks like the Royals are starting to get to him, but maybe this is his chance to turn it around. 1-2 count, one out, and a runner on first. As leader, it sounds like he did get a little bit of the ball there, but fouled it right back into Fukuda's glove. So it does count as a strikeout for O'Connor Yokoyama. Second of the game. And that'll bring up the catcher, Matthew Ward.
Ward did it with the glove in the top half of the inning, looking to now do it with the bat in the bottom half. Steps in with 1 on and 2 outs.
Likes what he sees right away, sends that one spiraling into center, but fortunately for the Royals, Spencer Market had that read like a book right off the barrel of the bat. So a runner left on yet again for the Royals, something that really has been troubling them so far, Jayden.
Yeah, they left the bases loaded earlier in this game, unable to capitalize on some pitching mishaps from O'Connor Yokoyama, as the Guelph Royals are bringing out the kids to run the bases. And this is another one of those things, like you said, that the Royals just do so well, keeping their fans, especially the younger ones, engaged, as it looks like we have a clear leader here in this race.
Well, as this race wraps up, we will also wrap up this third inning, so stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. We will see you back for the top half of the fourth.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the top of the fourth inning as Connor King is back on the mound, looking to shut down the Barnstormers. They have 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. First, it's going to be the catcher, Mitsuki Fukuda.
Fukuda was one of the aforementioned Chatham Kent All-Stars from last season. Such a big fan favorite. Now looking to do some damage against Connor King. The 0-0 just catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. And
Fukuda being played straight up here with the center fielder Williams, maybe a few feet to the right of that bag. To his right, I should say.
as Fukuda slaps that one high in the air into right field, Andy Leader's got a good read on it. Traps it, brings it into the glove, and just like that, 2 pitches is all it takes to retire Fukuda. Just 1 out here in the top of the 4th. That will bring up the first baseman, Timmy Wagner Jr.
Wagner Jr., like we mentioned, is a native of Boston, Massachusetts. utility man today, is playing first base. Also spends some time on the mound with the Barnstormers.
And gets the job done early. Slaps that one into left field. He is going to settle for a single. Got about halfway to second before he put on the brakes. And maybe this is an indication of things to come, as it seems like these Barnstormers batters are getting good reads off of Connor King very early in their at-bats.
Here's Yushin Oda stepping in, the catcher, hailing from Nagasaki, Japan. Oda often plays catcher, but is actually at third base today, as he made a nice play on Takamatsu in the top half. Took that one for a strike right on the outside corner.
Yeah, Oda coming in from the Frontier League, played last season with the Ottawa Titans. Now looking to make his mark in the IBL with the Barnstormers. Takes that one low. A good fastball from Connor King.
Oda certainly didn't like that call, and it looked like it might have come in just low, but the home plate umpire thought otherwise. An 0-2 count now.
0-2 count, 1 out, and a runner on first, as King looks to shut the door. That pitch chopped foul. A good read by Oda. Had that one pretty well scouted.
Oda staying alive, just eliminating that leg kick, and all movement in his swing is kind of cut down here with 2 strikes. Just looking to get the bat on the ball, make contact. But the last thing you want here is to ground into a double play. He's got to be busting it out of the box.
Chops that one foul again. Another good read, but another foul off. At the very least, he stays alive in this one.
Oda certainly putting up a good battle here against King. Again, looking for King to make a mistake. He's got a big hole over on the right side.
The 0-2 fouled back again. Oda still staying alive. Really, really putting in the effort, but it looks like his swings are coming a little late. Connor King not really showing any, for lack of a better term, fancy stuff. No big sliders, no fork balls, nothing exquisite. Just plain old heaters, breaking balls, and the like. But Oda, yeah, you mentioned he usually does play catcher. Has been having a hard time getting a read on these pitches from King as he fouls another one back. Still an 0-2 count.
Oda certainly with the at-bat of the day so far, as King just isn't able to put him away. King needs a chase pitch here.
That he does, as he gets set and delivers. That one sent out on a line, deep, deep, deep right field. Andy Leader cannot get to it in time. It bounces off the wall. Both runners heading for third and second respectively, and that is going to be a stand-up double for Yushin Oda. Not exactly what the Royals want to see at this stage of the game.
Now that is a quality at-bat from Yushin Oda. Went down 0-2 early and just started fouling off pitch after pitch. Finally getting that mistake from Connor King, and Oda did not miss it. Sending it deep into that right field gap, close to that 393 sign, just out of the reach of the right fielder Leader. And the Barnstormers have a runner on second and third with 1 out here in the 4th.
Yeah, you know what? I take back what I said. Oda had a good read on that pitch, especially. Completely drives it into right field, like you mentioned, towards the 393 sign out there just past Andy Leader. And this is what the Barnstormers need. The Royals are looking very impressive early on, and to really get an advantage, the Royals need to be, the Barnstormers need to be looking for advantage on the scoreboard instead of on the mound or defensively, as that one fouled back.
And going back to that at-bat from Oda, not only did it give him a chance to get on base, which he did, but it also gives the hitters after him an even better look at the pitcher King, and even tired King out, as he's having a hard time now all of a sudden, as that one's ripped into center field, a base hit. 1 run scores, the second one is on the way home, the throw not in time, a 2-run single.
From Braxton Hageth, really picking up the slack, and the IBL commentator's curse rears its ugly head once more. As soon as I mentioned that the Barnstormers, this is the moment that they need to capitalize and give themselves an advantage early on in this one. Braxton Hageth, he must have super hearing. He must have heard us from all the way down there at the dish, as he sends that one screaming into center field and catches in the 2 runners.
And I'm sure he's going to give Yushin Oda a big hug and a high five when he gets back to the dugout.
Oh, for sure.
As Oda allowed him to see that many more pitches from King and even tire King out. And I'm surprised they haven't taken a mound visit yet.
That one sent very deep. That one way, way back there. J.D. Williams able to catch it in time. Such great defensive read from Williams. Had it tracking all the way to the warning track, but is able to make the recovery, in time. Whew. That one just about left the park. The breeze shifts in a different direction, and that one's out of here entirely.
King just got a little bit lucky there, but Williams with a real nice catch out there on the warning track, as we now have 2 outs.
2 outs. Hageth still the runner at first. As Spencer Morin got caught stealing his first time up, sends that one spiraling just past the clubhouse. So foul ball, 0-1 the count. Connor King getting settled in, still an 0-1 count. That one low in the dirt. Ward just able to trap it in his glove, stopped it from getting away from him. But not quite what you want to see if you're the Royals. Connor King kind of struggling with the location of his pitches now here in the top of the 4th.
He's certainly getting tired out there, just looking for any way to get himself back in that dugout and regroup with the pitching coach. But first, he's got to get this guy here at the plate.
Morin chops that one foul, but a beautiful catch there from Nellis. Ranges way over to his right, gets a glove on it just in the nick of time. Great recovery by the Royals to wrap up the inning, but they do give up the 2 runs on that Braxton Hageth 2-run single. So heading into the home half of the 4th inning, the Barnstormers do hold the lead. Very impressive stuff from them to come back after they struggled their first time through against Windler, against Connor King through the first cycle of the lineup, now through the second. It seems like they are getting a good read on the Royals. So it looks like Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama will be staying in the game as the pitcher, at the very least for this inning. And maybe, like you mentioned earlier, Jayden, that mound visit did wonders for O'Connor Yokoyama's confidence as he is staying in. There's no one up in the Barnstormers bullpen. Maybe he's turned a new page as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning.
O'Connor Yokoyama looks to have really found himself here going into the bottom of the 4th. You can even see in his warm-ups, he's sending those pitches right down the middle, right where the catcher wants them. And obviously for a breaking pitch, you don't want it down the middle, as he was struggling with that earlier in this game. The Barnstormers are hoping that he can locate that one down, maybe even down and out of the zone, to get these Royals hitters and keep the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, he's gotten support from his offense. A little bit of a cushion now, 2 runs. Nothing to laugh at, but still within reach for the Royals. Still plenty of game left to be played. As leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning will be the young gun left fielder, Ethan Hammond.
It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters here in the 4th for the Guelph Royals, looking to turn over that lineup. Here's Hammond.
Let's that one sail by. 0-1 count.
Hammond is a native of Oakville, Ontario. Last year hit .304 with the Royals.
Ooh, feigns a bunt there. Doesn't deliver on it, and got a good read on that pitch from O'Connor Yokoyama. Count evened up at 1-1.
Hammond does have some speed. Got 4 stolen bases last year as he draws in the third baseman, who's now playing even with the bag.
Yeah, I think that bunt was kind of a wake-up call for the bunt attempt. Was a wake-up call for the Barnstormers. As you mentioned, Oda moving in a little closer to the dish as O'Connor Yokoyama gets set for the 1-2. That one outside pops away from Fukuda, but no runners on base, so no damage done. Evens the count up at 2-2. Ethan Hammond, we saw plenty of it last season, now seeing it right here. He is a very, very patient hitter. A young guy with the eye of a veteran as he chops that one foul. Count stays at 2-2, and Hammond stays alive in this one.
With 2 strikes, obviously, Hammond is no longer looking to bunt. I think that bunt attempt was more to scare, to intimidate the Barnstormers defense and draw them in.
Sending a message almost.
Takes that one high, and it's now a full count. Hammond is looking for a fastball here from O'Connor Yokoyama.
Looking for anything he can put his barrel to. As that one fouled back, Fukuda ranging closer and closer to the stands, catches it just in the nick of time and retires Hammond.
Hammond got a fastball indeed, but was just under it as he popped that one straight back. The number 8 hitter, Mark Nellis, is coming up to the plate. Just 18 years of age and hailing from Toronto. Last year, Nellis had a .323 batting average, over 62 ABs.
Mark Nellis, one of the returning Royals from last year's squad. Very much a young star in the making. As you mentioned, pretty solid year last year, and looking to get this season going off on the right foot with a 1-0 count. O'Connor Yokoyama looking to get something going here for the Barnstormers. That one fouled way back, almost out to Kathleen Street. The field, the road adjacent to the field here at David E. Hastings Stadium. 1-1 count with 1 out as that one sails high.
O'Connor Yokoyama was unable to locate that slider. It just never broke into the zone, started out, and was a ball the whole way. 2-1 count here on Nellis.
That one smacked on the ground. Vasilinek throws that one onto first, but it does get past Timmy Wagner Jr. and sails out of play. And because it did go out of play, Nellis will be advancing up to second base, and that brings up the very dangerous Carson Burns.
And that is not what you wanted to happen if you're the shortstop, Vasilinek. Evidently didn't have a good grip on that baseball or something of the sort as he sails that one way over the head
Yeah,
of Wagner Jr.
he has been very impressive defensively earlier on in the game, but seems like the bright lights got to him. Makes an errant throw. And now it's a runner on second with just one out. Carson Burns takes that first pitch just a bit outside, 1-0 count.
Burns is a 27-year-old from Orangeville, Ontario. Looking to get something going for the Royals and get them on the board even more.
Ooh, takes a big hack at that one, and the crowd making the exact same noise that I just did as they see Burns take a big miss there. Still a 1-1 count, still plenty of distance left to go. As O'Connor Yokoyama keeping an eye on things at second as that one sent into right field. No real trouble at all for Spencer Morin. And a good, excellent throw even back in to the diamond to keep the runner at second. Great stuff.
Up comes the leadoff hitter for the Guelph Royals. It's J.D. Williams with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Looking to get Guelph on the board.
J.D. Williams, known as Mr. Left Turns Only, former prospect in the Cincinnati Reds system for close to 4 seasons. Takes that one low, but no threat from the runner.
A real nice block there by the Barnstormers catcher. Fukuda was able to stop that runner from advancing.
J.D. Williams already has 4 RBIs this season. He would love to make it 5 here. And yeah, I think he's thinking that too. Takes a massive swing at that one. Was just too late. And it really does look like O'Connor Yokoyama finding his groove now on the mound. One and one count. O'Connor Yokoyama keeping an eye on the runner, and quite the slide from Fukuda to kind of get control of that one.
Another real nice pick from Mitsuki Fukuda, hailing from Fukuoka, Japan. Stopping that runner from advancing. Williams just looking for a single here, with the outfielders playing fairly deep.
Yeah, anything that touches outfield grass may very well score a runner as he chops that one pretty far foul. It will go out of play, despite Wagner Jr. and Morin chasing after it.
And some kids as well. Every time there's a foul ball hit here at David E. Hastings, it's a race to get the foul ball and to exchange it for some candy. Yet another one of those great programs put on by the Guelph Royals for the home fans.
It well and truly is a family event every time the Royals play at home, as that pitch sails outside, a 3-2 count. And well, it may not be a public holiday, but these fans are certainly looking for some fireworks from the Royals as Williams faces the full count. 2 outs and a runner on second. Connor Yokoyama delivers that one, sent by J.D. Williams on a line into left field, but will not find any outfield grass. Braxton Hageth, who had that 2 RBI single back in the top half of the inning, seals the Royals' fate in the bottom half of the inning. So the Royals yet again leave a runner on base. A plot line to keep your eye on as this one progresses. We'll be heading to the top of the 5th inning, so stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to Guelph Royals TV. Here at David E. Hastings Stadium, it's the visiting Chatham Kent Barnstormers up 2-0 here in the away half of the fifth. New pitcher on the mound for the Royals, as King gets pulled pretty early into his relief appearance. It's another one of the young pitching prospects populating the Royals bullpen this season. It is Nelson Mercado. Mercado delivers the 0-1. Fouled back.
Mercado, is 22 years old, hailing from Colombia. In his IBL career, he's thrown 51 innings, pitched to a 5.44 ERA with 52 strikeouts and 28 walks. Just over 1 strikeout per inning for Mercado as he gets the strikeout.
Starting things off hot is Mercado, showing that he is not to be messed with early on, as he sends Robert Mackey packing. That'll turn things over to the top of the order for the Barnstormers. Evan Morrison, the second baseman, up to bat.
Evan Morrison, an always dangerous hitter, takes that one high and out for a ball. You see the second baseman playing nearly on the grass. Out there at second and the shortstop as well. Both middle infielders playing particularly deep.
But it doesn't help play for the Royals, as that one's going to pop into left field. Ethan Hammond gets a good glove on it. Holds Morrison over at first.
That was a big turnover there at first by Morrison, looking to get himself into scoring position early. And although he wasn't able to do it right there, you got to think he's pondering if he should test the arm of Ward. Ward obviously threw out a runner earlier today, has been keeping the runners in check, but already you can see over at first base Morrison with a big aggressive lead.
Yeah, Ward sent a message to the Barnstormers very early on in this one, picking off. Pardon me, not picking off. Caught Morin stealing. So it would be interesting, to say the least, if Morrison were to test his arm again here in the top of the fifth inning.
It would be risky, but Morrison over there is looking a little jumpy. We'll see.
That pitch a bit high. 1-1 now the count. As Mercado slowly but surely settling in. I mean, got the strikeout to kick things off. Now seems to be finding a rhythm. Sends that one pretty down low. 1-2 now the count.
And not a good swing there by the center fielder Spencer Marcus, the 23-year-old from Chatham, Ontario. Plays both center and right field.
Yeah, he's got a flaming fastball and a serpentine slider. As that one's fouled back, rattles the grandstands here at David E. Hastings Stadium.
Spencer Marcus now looking to put up a good at-bat, foul off some pitches from Mercado, just looking to help out the next guy in the order, who is the catcher Fukuda, waiting on deck.
Mercado gets set, the 1-2. Pounded inside, and a second strikeout in this inning for Nelson Mercado. The young flamethrower finding his groove here in the fifth. And as Jayden mentioned, that will bring up Fukuda. Defensively has had a very good game. Offensively, maybe not so much. Hasn't been able to reach base in either of his first 2 at-bats. That one, fastball just outside and low, 1-0 the count. Yeah, as you mentioned, Jayden, Morrison really pretty jumpy out there at first, really taking those big leads. But he is not going to try and test Ward's arm.
The the batter Fukuda is one of many Japanese players on this Chatham Kent Barnstormers roster, hailing from Fukuoka, and behind the dish tonight, looking to put the bat on the ball here. He does put the bat on the ball, fouls it straight back into the catcher's mask.
Yeah, by the sound of it, Ward took quite the beating from that absolute heater from Mercado. And the umpire, DiBiase, doing him a solid, brushing off home plate. And that's what you love to see. Everyone helping each other out here in the IBL. And that's what really what it's all about. As Fukuda slaps that one into center field, J.D. Williams ranges over to his right, makes the catch. So the Barnstormers leave a runner stranded, and Mercado really getting the job done here in his first inning of appearance. 2 strikeouts for the big man. The Barnstormers not able to follow up on their impressive second inning, 2-run 4th inning of play. Yeah, as you can see there, 1 error charged to them, 6 hits, and yep, the aforementioned 2 runs. The Royals have gotten plenty of walks in this one, not as many hits, just 3 on the day for them. And he has really turned a new page in this game. Yes, that is Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama still out on the mound for the visiting Barnstormers. O'Connor Yokoyama has really settled in. He was a little streaky in the first couple innings of play. Wasn't really having a good time at all locating his pitches. Fastballs, breaking balls, you name it, he was struggling. And Fukuda was doing all he could to frame up those pitches. But after that mound visit that Jayden has mentioned before, back, I believe, in the 3rd inning of play, O'Connor Yokoyama has looked like an entirely different pitcher.
And Yokoyama is back there on the mound here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking to put together a quality start for the Chatham Kent Barnstormers.
Yeah, he's put in the work. Not too many strikeouts, and as we mentioned before, close to half a dozen walks in his appearance, but O'Connor Yokoyama has really leveled out. But this will be quite a tough test for him as shortstop Connor Morrow steps up to the dish.
Connor Morrow, like we mentioned, had a real nice playoff run last year, batted .385 over 52 at-bats as he squares the bunt and pulls that one back. And that will certainly draw some interest from the defense.
Yeah, you can see almost instantly the rest of the infielders staying far back, but Oda over there at 3rd base playing a little closer to the infield grass. If anything, it was kind of a warning from Connor Morrow, like, hey, look what I can do, tighten things up.
Yeah, just to send a message there from Morrow, and the message has been sent. The 3rd baseman Oda now playing even with the bag.
That one sent deep into left field. Ranging back is Braxton Hageth. And he does get a good read on it. Makes the catch almost back at the warning track. A little disappointing for Connor Morrow. Had a big hack there. Looked pretty impressed by his own work. But yeah, Hageth got to it just in time. And that'll bring up the big man, the 3-hole hitter, DH Garrett Takamatsu.
And you just know Takamatsu is going to put up a good AB here against O'Connor Yokoyama. Last year, Takamatsu had more walks than strikeouts. As he takes that one high, does an offer at it.
Yeah, he's a very patient hitter, but delivers the bang when needed. Last season had 32 RBIs and 4 home runs across all games played.
He's hitting in the 3 spot for a reason.
and sends that one on a line way, way back there. Braxton Hageth Ranger back on the warning track and just makes the catch, robbing Takamatsu of a home run there. I mean, if he had moved any further back, Hageth, he would have been in the Royals bullpen, to say the very least.
Hageth with 2 nice catches there. And you can just see that left field wall here at David E. Hastings Stadium. Starts in at 325 feet down the corner, but juts out real quick in left center. 397 out there. That is the wrong part of the ballpark to be hitting it to.
And that is the second consecutive Royals hitter who sent the ball out on the line into the outfield, and now Wilson making it 3 as Morin ranges to his right to make the catch. Just 1 pitch was all it took to retire Liam Wilson, and 3 up, 3 down go the Royals. Maybe, just maybe, O'Connor Yokoyama might go the distance. He has looked absolutely fiery in his performance so far, turning things around. Will he be able to keep it up? Well, you will just have to wait and see. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV because the 7th inning is coming up just after this.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution.
The Rev 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. Joshua Alderman and Jayden Prasad on the call here in the top of the 6th inning. Yes, you heard me right. I definitely 100% did not fumble the throw to break. It's the 6th inning. Totally 100% the 6th inning. I know I did call it the 7th inning, but here in the top of the 6th, it is 2-0 for the visiting Chatham Kent Barnstormers. Nelson Mercado in his relief appearance has been Enfuego, throwing 2 strikeouts in the 4th inning. Pardon me, the 5th inning. Jayden, you may have to take over for the rest of the game. I am getting my words mixed up left, right, and center.
Well, that's all good as Mercado has a 1-1 count here in the 6th inning. That first pitch was called just low by the home plate umpire, much to the displeasure of the Royals fans.
A big swing there from the first baseman, Timmy Wagner Jr. Hasn't quite had the start to the season that he'd been hoping for heading into tonight's contest. A 0-0 batting average, 1 run scored, and 1 walk on the season. Looking to change his fortunes. I mean, he's already had a run, had a hit in this one as he hits that one into the outfield. Ethan Hammond raging over into left center, makes the big catch. And you can see him and J.D. Williams having a bit of a discussion. Hammond, without a doubt, went into J.D. Williams' territory, ranged very far over to his left. But it looks like they've patched things up. Business as usual in the outfield for the Royals. And that'll bring up the 5-hole hitter, Yushin Oda.
Oda takes that one for a ball outside, and as a utility man who also catches, he knows the strike zone very, very well, as we've seen early on today.
Oda has also made some very impressive plays over at third base throughout this contest so far. He has 2 hits in his 2 at-bats and came around to score on Braxton Haggett's 2-run single, and looking to make it 3 hits on the day with that swing. Just couldn't put bat to ball. 2-1 now the count. I apologize. Thanks for the correction. Dan Wagner is hitting .316 heading into today. I got my lineups a little mixed up. Yeah, Wagner, very impressive so far, but couldn't get on base. But on the other hand, Oda does, draws the walk, and will head down to first.
After that super quick bottom of the 5th from the Barnstormers pitcher Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama, Mercado is trying to return the favor here, but he's unable to, as he's pitching quickly, but quickly sends that batter to first.
And if you're the Royals, you do not want to be seeing this man again. Braxton Haggett had that big 2 RBI single back in the 4th inning. Sends that one back. It is going to drop fair. Ethan Hammond getting to it in time to stop the damage, but another single in back-to-back at-bats for Braxton Haggett.
Well, the left fielder Hammond just has to take charge there. That's the left fielder's ball all the way. Although the shortstop Morrow did a real good job of trying to get there, Hammond wasn't looking like he was sprinting there. Didn't look all too urgent, as now the Barnstormers have runners on first and second, with 1 out, looking to extend their lead over the Royals.
Yeah, Hammond has been a little shaky out in left field today. I mean, we saw crossing wires with J.D. Williams. He's made some good catches, but as you saw there, missed a big one too.
Yeah, there was a nice play earlier in this inning, but that one he really, really needed to get there and just was unable to. Kind of left it up to the shortstop Morrow, who really had no chance of catching that ball.
Yeah, Morrow ranging pretty far out of his own territory to try and get that one, and I think that the Royals thought, and so did the Royals fans, that that one was going to fall foul, but it just, and I mean just, caught the inside of the foul line. So it is 2 runners on board with just 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Big swing and a miss there from the shortstop. Vasilenic brings the count to 1-2. Fans starting to rally behind Nelson Mercado as they are willing him on to strike out the shortstop. Ask and you shall receive. Nelson Mercado gets the shortstop swinging. His 3rd K in 2.5 innings.
And Vasilenic there with a really uncomfortable swing at that pitch that ended up being down and out of the zone. He got a piece of it, but just enough to foul it back into the catcher's mitt, as we have 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Spencer Morin up to bat is 1 for 2 on the day. Caught stealing earlier. Takes a very heated fastball from Mercado. Down is called for a strike. 0-1 the count. Mercado checks in on the runners. Wastes little time and delivers the 0-1. Just a bit outside, and if anything, Jayden, that one looked intentional. Almost to kind of keep the runners on their toes, know that he's watching out for them, and that him and Ward have got eyes in the back of their heads. And just like that, caught at second base is Yoshinoda. He's still having words with the umpire, but it still stands.
Just a great pickoff move there by Matthew Ward behind the dish. Looking a little bit like Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays, gunning down that runner at second base. And the runner at second thought he got in there, thought he was under the tag, and it looked like it could have gone either way from up here, but the umpire saw it differently. He's out at second, and the Royals are heading into the bottom of the sixth, looking to get on the board.
And it does look like Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama's night has come to an end. A very impressive performance, Jayden. Turned things around as the innings went by, but his number is up. He's headed back to the dugout for some well-deserved rest. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for the visitors, so we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Josh Alderman and Jayden Prasad on the call. It's a 2-0 game in favor of the visiting Chatham Kent Barnstormers. And speaking of, they've got a new pitcher on the mound, Eric Pettipiece. Looking to make an impact out of the pen as he delivers that first pitch to Andy Leader. Just goes a bit outside, 1-0 the count.
Pettipiece, the southpaw, is from Dorchester, Ontario. The first arm out of the Chatham Kent bullpen tonight. Looking to continue the scoreless outing that Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama had.
Yeah, looking to hold the line is Pettipiece. Likes what he sees from Fukuda and delivers the 1-1. High in on the hands of Andy Leader. And a good read from the tenured vet.
Pettipiece early on here kind of missing up and out of the strike zone. We'll see if he can command that pitch. It's now 2-1.
Andy Leader takes a big hack at that one, evens things up at 2-2.
And that one was up in the zone as well, but just there that Leader was willing to take a hack. Swung right through it.
Leader chops that one towards center fielder. Marcus ranges over to his right and makes the grab. One out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Leader not looking too pleased with himself as he's heading back to the dugout. It hasn't been a good outing for him so far. No hits, no appearances on base in 3 at-bats. But that is going to bring up Matthew Ward, the catcher for your Royals tonight.
Ward has certainly been doing it with the glove tonight. Threw out a runner at second and picked off another. Rips that one into left field, down for a base hit.
He is going to settle for a single. Amazing stuff from Ward so far, showing that he can get it done, not just on the defensive side of things, but on the offensive side as well. On board with a 1-out single that'll bring up the left fielder, the young gun Ethan Hammond, who is kind of the opposite side of the coin from Ward, has been struggling a little defensively, Jayden.
Yeah, Hammond, the left fielder tonight, has had a couple of miscues. Not errors per se, but maybe a ball or two that he should have either called better or tracked down. But we'll see if he can do it with the bat here as he bunts one and pops it foul. Maybe the highest bunt that I have ever seen.
You can say that again, partner. That one bouncing off the top of the roof of the grandstand here at David E. Hastings.
I don't even know how that's possible, but Hammond looking to get on any way he can as the third baseman is now drawn in even with the bag.
We've seen Oda come play in a couple times tonight as Hammond's going to smack that one right up the middle, but a great play by Morrison, the second baseman. The ball does get away from Wagner Jr. over at first, but no damage done.
Hammond just got jammed on that one, sent it back up the middle, but was not hit hard at all. The second baseman was able to make a nice play on it, unable to get the runner at first. As here's Mark Nellis stepping into the box. He is the tying run.
Could very well be. As Nellis sets up and sends that one screaming foul just past the right field lights here at Hastings. 0-1 the count. Crowd rallying behind the home side, willing them to at least get one on the board. Pettipiece delivers, and the same result as the first time, another foul towards the right field side.
Nellis is just a little late on that one, and now with an 0-2 count, he's got to battle. Protect the plate and don't leave it in the umpire's hands. It's an 0-2 count on Nellis, who's choking up on the bat a little bit, looking to get a piece.
Pettipiece delivers the ball just a bit outside. 1-2 now the count. Pettipiece showing nothing fancy, just getting in there, grinding, getting the work done. And so far the call to the bullpen has paid off for the Barnstormers as that one's sent into right field by Nellis. That'll advance the runner up to second and put two men on board with 2 outs, with Carson Burns stepping up to the dish.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, Josh, but Carson Burns is the go-ahead run at the plate. Isn't known as a power hitter, but if he can turn this lineup over to J.D. Williams up at the top, the Royals are looking dangerous.
However you slice it, he is a game changer. And this at-bat could very well change the game in either team's favor as he takes that one inside. 1-0 the count.
Carson's being played straight up across the diamond, but look at the left fielder. He's really, really shallow. Maybe anticipating a weak fly ball.
Something to keep an eye on as Pettipiece delivers outside. 2-0 now the count. And this may be a familiar situation for the Royals. They had a situation earlier in the game with 2 outs with the bases loaded. Looking to turn the tides and not tread the same ground here in the bottom of the 6th. That one high, and the IBL commentator's curse just kind of peeking around the corner there. 3-0 now the count.
Pettipiece needs to bring that pitch down, but it's 3-0. You can only assume that Burns is taken all the way here as Pettipiece looks to get back in the zone.
Pettipiece delivers that one right up Main Street, plain and simple fastball. Down the middle.
Burns taking all the way indeed, but now it's a hitter's count, 3-1. He'll have a hack if he wants it.
Hack he does. But that one's sent into, you guessed it, shallow left field. The defensive presence by the Barnstormers saves and prevents any damage from being done. Braxton Haggith had that one read like a book. So the Royals once again leave runners on base. looking to change things as we head into the top of the 7th inning. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Top 7.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. We're in the top of the 7th inning and have a pitching change. The pitcher on the mound for the home Guelph Royals is 24-year-old Gaku Ueda from Japan. In 2024, Ueda pitched in Colombia through 28.2 innings and pitched to a 1.26 ERA with a 1.22 whip. Josh, what do you make of Ueda?
I think he could very well be a game changer. Coming out of the pen, got a, like you mentioned, an impressive resume, a good stat line playing in the very tough Colombian league. Now bringing his talents north of the border and looking to shut the door on the Barnstormers. Keep the score right where it's at. Beautiful pitch. Just down low, but framed up perfectly by Ward. 0-1 now the count.
And I'm not sure if the fans at home can see, but Ueda hides the ball so very well from the hitter. Keeps that baseball behind his back leg the whole time before firing it in there. And he's quite the flamethrower.
That he is. Very quickly up to an 0-2 count. Settling in and hiding the ball very well. Throws that one just a bit outside. Another flaming hot fastball brings the count to 1-2. Ueda played in the Japanese independent leagues before settling down in Colombia the last year and sets the batter down with his first strikeout in his first appearance in relief for the Royals.
Yeah, prior to pitching for the Royals, Ueda pitched for the Ishikawa Million Stars in Japan before pitching for the Caimanes de Barranquilla in Colombia.
Say that 10 times fast.
He was certainly dominant in Colombia, again recording a 1.26 ERA in 20 appearances. Also represented Japan in the Caribbean Series, and that may seem weird to fans at home, but Japan were invited to the Caribbean Series this past winter. Ueda now trying to familiarize himself with Canadian professional baseball.
Check swing there from Robert Mackey. Count now to 2-0. Ueda has had a couple appearances so far in the season for the Royals. 4 innings pitched across 3 games, 6.75 ERA. Has only given up 3 earned runs and has struck out 3 heading into this game, now 4 on the season so far. 3-0 now the count, and the fans showing their displeasure at DiBiase's calls. Finally, the fans get a call that they like. A fastball inside, 3-1 the count.
Robert Mackey is 26-year-old, hailing from Vancouver on the west coast of Canada. 3-1 count to him.
Another pitch-perfect fastball brings it to a full count, and thank you, Dan, for informing us that Fukuda on the Barnstormers, their catcher for this evening, was also on that Japanese team that played in the Caribbean Series, so some familiar faces for Ueda as he punches out his second consecutive batter here in the top of the 7th inning, really finding his rhythm early on.
Ueda went down 3-0 in that count, but came all the way back, getting 3 called strikes right on the corner. Robert Mackey took exception to that last one, but that was right there as Gaku Ueda puts him away.
That's about as big of a comeback as you can make if you're a pitcher. Now looking to do the same here. That pitch high and inside on Evan Morrison.
Ueda just painting those corners on Mackey and looking to do the same here against Morrison.
Morrison represents the top of the order for the Barnstormers, and he's going to chop that one into center fielder. Both center fielder J.D. Williams and left fielder Ethan Hammond both going after it, but it is the young gun Hammond who picks it up. And so 3 up, 3 down go the Barnstormers here in the top of the 7th inning. Perhaps Ueda is the secret pitching weapon that the Royals have needed so far in this game. And of course, 7th inning stretch here at David E. Hastings Stadium, a time-honored tradition anywhere in baseball. It does look like Pettipies will be returning to the mound for the Chatham Kent Barnstormers. Had a very impressive bottom of the 6th inning in relief. So the Barnstormers coaching staff putting their faith in Pettipies to get the job done here in the bottom of the 7th. Couple of players roaming around in Chatham Kent's bullpen. Not quite warming up just yet, but a couple faces poking over the fence, tossing a ball around.
I'll need you to keep an eye on that bullpen out there, Josh, because I, for one, cannot see a thing out there. It's getting real dark here out at David E. Hastings in Guelph. Just as we're finishing up the 7th inning stretch, Eric Pettipies back on the mound. Like you said, the Dorchester native looking to pitch another scoreless inning for the Barnstormers.
But with the sun going down, things getting a little more difficult to see. That does bring a bit of a frigid temperature here. It's a staple of Guelph baseball that as soon as the sun goes down, David E. Hastings gets a little chilly. But you know what? These two teams are looking to crank up the heat here as we head into the tail end of this game. The closing stages, if you will. As the home half of the 7th inning will kick off with the top of the order, center fielder J.D. Williams.
And this is exactly where you want to start the bottom of the 7th for this Guelph Royals team. J.D. Williams, the leadoff hitter, will be followed by Connor Morrow and Garrett Takamatsu. Williams looking to get them started.
Pettipies' first pitch to Williams inside, 1-0 count. Yeah, like we mentioned before, Pettipies not trying any tricks. He just delivers hard and heavy fastballs, pounding the inside of the strike zone. And Williams, very patient hitter. He is not liking that call at all.
The fans certainly taking exception to that one that looked to be in the same spot as the first.
JD takes a big hack at that one, is very upset with himself. 1-2 count now.
Williams needs to battle for his team. 1-2 count, looking to get a piece. As he does.
Get a piece he does, yeah. Fouls that one back, rattling the grandstand, and stays alive in this duel with Pettipiece.
And as your baseball coach will always say, the first 2 strikes are for you, the 3rd strike is for the team. He's got to be battling here, looking to get on any way possible.
Okay, still battling is JD Williams. Takes a big hack that pays off with a foul ball, staying alive in the count. Still 1-2, no outs. And the Barnstormers still leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Williams certainly cutting down that swing. We'll see if he can get another piece here.
That one inside, another great take from JD Williams. He's still pretty early on in his baseball career, but has the presence of a veteran at the plate. Knows the pitches to pick. Looking to pick up a good one with a 2-2 count. Chops that one just foul. Had third baseman Oda fooled completely.
And Williams with as good zone recognition as anyone. Obviously not willing to let the umpire decide his fate. He's fouling off pitch after pitch.
But just can't put bat to ball there. Takes a big hack and finds nothing but air. As Pettipiece picks up a big strikeout for the Barnstormers here in the bottom of the 7th. So that will bring up the 2-hole hitter, shortstop Connor Morrow. Has yet to reach base tonight. Looking to change that here.
Connor Morrow certainly has some speed on him. I'm surprised the defense on the infield are playing so deep. Had 8 stolen bases last year as he tries for the bunt and isn't able to get it down.
And that is the 3rd consecutive at-bat that Connor Morrow has shown bunt on the very first pitch. And yet he's connected on none of them. It's like a warning shot. He's not actually trying to square up. Almost kind of making sure the pitcher is on their toes, making sure the pitcher and the defense is paying attention.
Well, it seems this at-bat was the very first one of the night that he actually tried to get a bunt down. Went right through it, though.
Swings through that one. And it just sneaks past Oda and Veselinik, so he's on board with a 1-out single. And a big bat coming up to the plate in Garrett Takamatsu.
That one just snuck under the glove of Oda at third. A real good effort by him, as well as the shortstop, Veselinik. But just placed in the perfect spot there by Morrow. Nobody able to touch it, as here is the 3-hitter, Garrett Takamatsu.
A favorable matchup for the Royals. Just 1 out, a runner on board, and a chance to break that goose egg on the scoreboard. Takes that one wide, 1-0 the count.
Takamatsu looking to get a piece of Pettipiece here in the 7th. He is the tying run.
He looks very locked in at the plate. He's going to send that one into right field. That one's going to hit some outfield grass. Settling for second is Connor Morrow. So now we've got runners at first and second with just 1 out. And up comes the 4-hole hitter, 3-time All-Star Liam Wilson.
And if you want anyone at the plate, you're going to want Liam Wilson, the 30-year-old from Kitchener. It looks like a pinch runner is entering the game for Garrett Takamatsu. That's number 12, Nathan Bell for the Guelph Royals. The young 18-year-old from Brampton is put into a pretty big situation over at first. And with that, there will be a mound visit for the Chatham Kent Barnstormers.
And what a pickup Bell has been. He has got wheels for days. Probably the only person on this Royals roster that can match Roadrunner Ashton Patterson step for step. He has just got an amazing jump right off the bag. Has 3 stolen bases already this season and has 3 triples already this year. If that's not an indication of a bright future for this young man, I don't know what is.
First baseman, number 45, Liam Wilson.
Now Nathan Bell represents the tying run at first. So the Guelph Royals are anticipating an extra base hit here from Wilson. And if that is the case, they're hoping that Bell can score all the way from first. Liam Wilson is exactly who you want at the plate. In 2023 with the Kitchener Panthers, Wilson cracked 13 home runs in 133 at-bats.
He also had 45 RBIs in that season. No doubt he is a clutch hitter as he takes that one off the foot to jeers aplenty from the Royals Kingdom. He looks a little shaken up. That was like as on point as a pitch to the ankle can get. Just nails him. Not even on the front, on the back. That is absolutely insane, but it does mean another runner aboard. Still 1 out here, and the base is juiced for Andy Leader.
It is another runner aboard for the Royals, but I'm not sure they're too happy with that result, as Wilson is the biggest power threat in this Royals lineup. He's now on first base with the bases loaded as Andy Leader comes to the plate.
Andy Leader, a 3-time All-Star in his own right. Last year with the Guelph Royals, had 28 hits in 26 games, 3 triples and 14 RBIs. He's got very impressive wheels and has really stepped up as a mentor and, for lack of a better term, leader to some of the younger players on this Royals roster, like Nathan Bell. First pitch from Fetapiece. A fastball up high. Leader gets quite a bit of it, but only manages to foul it back.
The Royals are really threatening here in the bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded with just 1 out. What you really don't want is a double play. Leader just trying to find the outfield grass.
Takes that one low. A good read from the veteran. He is, just like Takamatsu, a batter before him, batter 2 before him, looks very locked in. Looks ready for the next pitch as he chops that one up foul. Fukuda chasing after it and is able to get to it in time. The ball gets away, and it will allow Connor Morrow to come across to score. Put a run on the board for your Guelph Royals.
The Royals are on the board as there was a nice catch there by the catcher for the Barnstormers. The catcher Fukuda made a real nice basket catch on that foul ball, but the runner Morrow on third read it perfectly. There was nobody at third, so he could get pretty far off, forcing Fukuda to throw it away. Just an excellent base running move there by Connor Morrow. And the head coach is coming out for the Barnstormers to have a chat with the home plate umpire.
Yeah, I believe that is manager Gil Rondon coming in to talk to DiBiase at home plate, arguing a little bit, but the fact of the matter is that was an errant throw from Fukuda. He had Oda, he had Wagner Jr., even Vasilenik into support, and he just couldn't make the throw in time, and that allowed Morrow to score and the runners to advance. I don't really see what...
Well, the only thing I could imagine is that the runner Morrow may have left third base early, which is what the coach is there arguing about. The ball has not been put in play yet, so I believe this would be reviewable, but it does not look like they're going to appeal, as the Barnstormers are looking to get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed.
Ward looking to be cooler than cool under pressure. Takes that one. Tough call there. Really could have gone either way. But as we've seen many a time before, Fukuda doing a great job of framing that pitch up. We talked about how Matthew Ward's arm is similar to that of Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. Fukuda's ability to frame up a pitch, very similar to Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. Some similarities despite being on opposite teams in the two catchers tonight, as that one goes a little wide, 1-1 the count. Still no activity in the Barnstormers bullpen, so faith being put in Pettipiece to shut this one down as Ward sends that one a moonshot into left field. But Braxton Hageth ranges over, grabs it, tucks it in, but the damage is done. Your Guelph Royals are now on the scoreboard, and folks, grab a drink, grab some popcorn, and buckle up because we are just getting started here. We're heading to the top of the 8th inning, so don't go anywhere. This is Guelph Royals TV.
We're heading to the top of the 8th inning here at David E. Hastings Stadium. It's 2-1 for the Chatham Kent Barnstormers over the Guelph Royals as Gaku Ueda is back on the mound.
Had a very impressive top of the 7th. Punched out 2 and sent down the Barnstormers in order. Looking to make it 3 Ks on the evening, but that pitch just a bit high. Or so says the umpire. 1-0 the count.
Ueda has his work cut out for him here in the 8th inning. He's got the 2-3-4 hitters in the Barnstormers lineup.
That one sent into shallow right field. Andy Leader ranging over, but just can't get his glove to it in time. Makes an absolutely beautiful dive, but it was all for naught as the ball drops just to his left.
Well, that's a great effort by Leader to try to keep the Barnstormers off the bases here in the 8th. Was just out of the reach of that baseball. Here's the catcher, Fukuda, the 3-hitter.
Yeah, and that's really what I was talking about when I mentioned Leader's wheels in the last half inning. Just gave it his all. He's a runner, he's a track star, but just couldn't get the glove down in time. That pitch, pretty well framed up by Ward, really could have gone either way.
Fukuda certainly didn't like that one, as it may have been both down and out, and neither did the Barnstormers fans, but a strike nonetheless.
One of the very few breaking balls we've seen from Ueda so far, and just doesn't get the job done like he would have wanted. 1-1 now the count.
And we heard a little grunt on that breaking ball too, trying to just emphasize finishing off that pitch, which he was unable to do on that one.
Ooh, that one tough in the dirt. Bounced off, I believe, home plate itself. But
Definitely seems like Ueda is putting even more emphasis, more effort into these pitches, grunting on the last two. That fastball certainly looked to be one of the faster ones he's thrown today.
no doubt about it. Spencer Marcus with a pretty short lead over at first. As Ueda checks in on him. Sets up and delivers that one. Chopped just fair. Marcus is going to head for third. Fukuda's going to head for second. And now the danger sets in for the Royals. No outs. And a run at third and a runner at second.
And the 4-hitter is coming up for the Barnstormers. It's Timmy Wagner Jr. And if you're the Royals, you might think about intentionally walking Wagner Jr. to just set up a double play, potentially at home plate. It looks like they're going to pitch to him, and instead of a double play situation, you now have to bring in the infield. Everyone playing on the grass.
Anything into the outfield is sure to score one, if not both, runners. As that one sails just high, a fastball high and away. Want to know the count, and Wagner Jr., an impressive bottom line heading into this contest. 316 batting average, a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs, looking to tack a few more on to the latter category. Takes a big swing and a miss. I actually believe he foul tipped it into the chest protector of Ward. Now a 6-game hitting streak extended for Fukuda. Thank you again to statistician Dan in the chat. As Ueda delivers the 1-1. That one sent sky high into center fielder. In his center field, J.D. Williams grabs it. He's going to make the throw, and a wise decision from Spencer Marcus to pump the brakes over at third. Williams, I mean, we talked about Ward has a cannon for an arm. J.D. Williams has a whole darn armada.
Yeah, that is a huge play there by J.D. Williams, keeping the Barnstormers off the board here in the 8th inning. Keeping it a 1-run game, which is super, super important for the Royals. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen an intentional walk. Instead, they keep the infield in here with 1 out and runners on second and third.
And maybe that's why they're pitching to Oda. Takes a big hack at that one way too late. 0-1 now the count.
Take a look at that left fielder, Hammond, for the Royals, playing super shallow. Not anticipating any hard contact, as that is a real nice block there by Matthew Ward.
Nothing fancy about it. Dives right on top of the ball to prevent it from getting away. That's the basic stuff, like the real fundamental stuff that the Royals are expecting from Ward, and so far he has delivered.
Buck Martinez is somewhere smiling as it's a 1-1 count on Ota.
And sends that one screaming into right field, and if the breeze were a little more kind, that would have gotten down and bounced off the right field wall, but luck was not in Oda's favor there. That one sails just foul, and instead of ending up as a guaranteed 2 RBI hit, it ends up as a souvenir for a young Royals fan. Ueda with the 1-2. Another fastball high. This time evens the count up at 2-2. Oda, for all of the swinging that he's done in this at-bat, very patient, has a good eye on him, really monitoring the pitches the second that they leave Ueda's hand, however much he wants to try and hide it. Big swing and a miss there. Rack it up, make it number 3 on the night for Ueda. And Oda heads back to the bench, dismayed. You can just see the disappointment on his face. That could have been his moment, and with a swing and a miss, it's all gone.
And finally, the Royals infield is able to back up, play at their normal depth, as here's Braxton Haggith coming up here with 2 outs and 2 on.
Ueda sets up and delivers a fastball high and outside. And if you're Ueda, if you're the Royals, you don't want to be sending anything inside. The Royals have been in a similar situation with Braxton Haggith at the dish before. And what did he do? A 2 RBI single. They are not looking to repeat things here. As he sends that one into the outfield, that is going to get down. Leader gets over to it, but not in time. Both runners come around to score, and it is his second 2 RBI single of the contest for Braxton Haggith.
And that is just really unfortunate for Ueda and the Royals. Ueda induced that fly ball to Williams, who did a great job of cutting down any potential runners. Ueda then got the strikeout and just left that one out over the plate, as Braxton Haggith was able to line that one past the second baseman for an easy 2 runs.
Bit of yelling and jeering from some of the visiting Barnstormers fans trying to throw it off his game. Still delivers a fastball high. Looked like it could have been a close call. Could have gone either way, but called a ball. Another fastball and another call of ball by the umpire, DiBiase.
Ueda missing twice in the same spot. Down the middle of the plate, but just up. He's got to bring that down here. It's a 2-0 count.
Way to get set for the 2-0. That one is sent spiraling sky high, way far back. 2-1 now the count. This is Vasilenik. Settled in here, 2-1 count, 2 outs, and Braxton Haggith, the runner, at first. Here comes the 2-1. Big swing and a miss from Vasilenik. And despite giving up those 2 runs, I think something we've seen, Jayden, from Ueda is his ability to generate swings and misses.
Absolutely, and he's doing a great job of tunneling those pitches. High fastballs that set up for breaking balls in the zone. Here's the 2-2.
And that one just gets passed by. The sounds of it may have even clipped Vasilenik on the helmet. By the trajectory of the ball, it certainly seems like it. But he's showing no signs of wear and tear. And
it sounds like Ward got a glove on that one. Ueda just kind of lost the handle on that slider. I just mentioned him being able to locate that slider in the zone, and right on cue, he yips one to the backstop. It's a full count.
Full count, runner on second, and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Ueda checks in on the runner and delivers. That one smacked on a line over to Nellis. No trouble at all. Flips it on to Wilson at first to retire the side, but the damage, Jayden, is done by you-know-who, Braxton Haggith, yet again. What a game he's been having.
Yeah, Braxton Haggith, it's been a real good night for him. Capping it off there with a huge 2-run single in the top of the 8th inning. The Guelph Royals now have their work cut out for them, as they're down 3 going into the bottom of the 8th inning.
And it does look like the Barnstormers will be keeping Pettipies in on the mound. He's had a very solid outing so far, but got rattled for that 1 run last time up. It'll be interesting to see if the Barnstormers even let him get through the inning.
That is pretty surprising to me to see Pettipies back there on the mound. He was pretty shaky in that last inning, gave up the bases loaded, and obviously the Royals were only able to cash one of those runs, but Pettipies threw a lot of pitches in that inning. I am surprised that the Royals haven't pulled him, but we'll see if this move pays off for them.
And it does look like we are getting some action in the Royals bullpen. Pretty far out, about 330, 340 feet away, but there is some action. We've got a couple players up and moving. One definitely warming up out there. And as you can see, the stat line for tonight's game, 4 runs for the Barnstormers, 10 hits, 2 errors allowed. But the Royals have only made them pay for 1 run, have gotten on board with 7 hits, and very, very few walks. Just haven't been able to deliver. But that will bring up the left fielder, the young gun, Ethan Hammond.
It's going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters here for the Guelph Royals in the bottom of the 8th. Hammond looking to get things started, takes a strike down the middle. And that's a pitch that you'll see hitters take very often, that first pitch fastball. They call it a get-me-over fastball for pitchers, as that one's taken high. But that's a pitch that sometimes you just need to capitalize on if you're the batter. You see that first pitch fastball right down the middle, take a swing.
Absolutely, and the 1-1 fouled back yet again.
That get-me-over fastball is going to be the best pitch you'll get in an at-bat. For any young hitters out there, don't be afraid to swing first pitch. Now Hammond is down 1-2 in the count.
Hammond gets set, decides to let that one go past, and the count evened up at 2-2. Yeah, like you mentioned, Pettipies, surprising move to keep him out there. I mean, his pitch count was pretty high after that last inning. Looks a little shook out there on the mound. Like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised if he doesn't make it through the inning. That's not a shot. He's had a very great outing in his own regard, but the control seems to be slipping away from him as he's worked himself into a 3-2 count against Hammond. Hammond's going to chop that one just past the mound. Vasilenic flips it onto Wagner Jr. at first, and just like that, there's one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And I thought there was a chance that they were just keeping in Pettipies for the lefty-lefty matchup. Pettipies got the lefty, Ethan Hammond, to ground out, but they are giving him in to face Ethan Nellis. You got to imagine that if this game turns over to the top of the order, that they will be looking to the bullpen.
No doubt about it. Mark Nellis takes that pitch just a bit outside, 1-0 the count. As Pettipies wasting no time. Delivers a pit inside. Got it. Mark Nellis dancing there at the dish, but it's still called a strike. 1-1 now the count. Pettipies really wasting no time. Sends that one in as Nellis sends a hopper on over to short. Vasilenic flips it on to first base. Wagner Jr. making another great defensive play. And just like that, 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. And it looks like we are getting a pinch hitter. Blake Simpson stepping into the game. A newer face on this Royals roster. Could he be the X factor here in the bottom of the 8th inning? Royals trailing 4-1. 1-0 count against the youngster.
Blake Simpson, a native of Pickering, Ontario. Shout out Durham over on the east end as there's a grounder to first base. And that will do it for the 8th.
3 up, 3 down. Go the Royals. Not something you want to see if you're a Royals fan. If you're a Barnstormers fan, you are chomping at the bit to get the 9th inning going. So strap yourselves in, because a 9th inning packed full of action is coming your way. Just after this, stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The ref won X by wrongs.
Now, Josh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 as Edgar Garcia is into the game for the Guelph Royals. The former major leaguer pitched 57 innings in the big leagues. Josh, what do you make of Garcia entering this game?
Such a big pickup for these Royals. Looking to make this Garcia's version here in the 9th inning. Trying to get the job done. He's got a reputation to protect. And it may be a very cruel summer for his opponents if he sticks around on this Royals roster. Such an impressive pedigree, Jayden. You mentioned so many innings pitched in the big leagues. As his first pitch to the batter sent foul.
Well, Josh, you're as up to date as anyone on your Taylor Swift knowledge. As Garcia is normally the closer for the Royals, but he's here while the Royals are down 3. Just looking to minimize the damage and get the guys back out there as he nearly plunks the batter.
Spencer Morin, yeah, had him dancing. Little tap dance at the plate by Spencer Morin. He is quite fleet-footed, but he did get caught stealing earlier on in this one. He'll just take anything to get back on base here as he faces a 1-1 count.
Morin's looking to shake that one off as he takes a ball in the dirt.
Edgar Garcia looking to make sure there is a blank space in that run column here in the top of the 9th. He has shut the door in many a Royals game before as Morin chops that one foul. Edgar Garcia, yep, 3 games, 3 innings pitched, has 2 saves already, has struck out 4, walked only 2 batters. Really, really impressive stuff. Of course, something you'd expect from a pitcher of his pedigree. The 2-2. In on the hands of Morin. Could have gone either way, but it is called a ball of full count.
And I guess Garcia is in this game because the Royals do have a couple of off days on Wednesday and Thursday before visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs on Friday. Garcia with the 3-2.
That one chopped foul by Morin. Stays alive in the count. Garcia, in addition to his time in the majors, from 2014 to 2022, spent time bouncing around the big leagues and the minor leagues in the Phillies, Rays, Reds, Twins, and Washington Nationals organizations.
And all of that before the age of 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive for Garcia.
That one down low, gets away from Ward. I believe it was fouled off, so it will be a out or not. I guess not. Guess not. Forget a missed call from the umpire. A missed call from me there, so it is a runner aboard. No outs. And that will bring up
the pinch hitter, Anthony Polowick, 23 years of age from London, Ontario. I guess he doesn't like the University of Guelph. He prefers Western. Shows bunt here, pops it straight up. The pitcher, Garcia, makes the catch.
Garcia, he made it very well known that he was going for that one. I'm sure you could have picked it up over the broadcast. He was calling for it all the way.
And that does not feel good for Anthony Polowick. He was brought into the game for one reason and one reason only, to get a bunt down. And that is the last thing you want to do, is pop your bunt up right back to the pitcher.
Absolutely, and Garcia fires that one in for a strike, 0-1 the count. On the leadoff hitter, Evan Morrison.
Garcia says, "I'll do it myself," as he catches the pop-up, and he's now throwing absolute heaters in there to Morrison.
It's absolutely inevitable that he's going to pound the zone with another heater there. That one just got away from Ward into the dirt. 1-1 now the count.
That one might have been a slider that he was looking to get a chase on early in the count, but Morrison was not biting. Recognized it early out of the hand.
And thank you, Neil, for letting us know that Polowick did in fact go to McMaster University. As that one sent on the ground, flipped on to second, but no play over at first. Some good fancy footwork from Morrow, tossing it to Simpson over covering second, but they just couldn't get the throw over in time, so it's still a runner at first. Now with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. That's going to bring up Spencer Marcus, the center fielder. Was an all-star last year. Looking to back up the accolades here right when the lights are shining brightest in the top of the 9th inning.
The 23-year-old Marcus is from Chatham, Ontario. Plays center and right field. Looking to hit it maybe in the right center field gap. There's a pretty big gap out there. Takes that one in the dirt.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, Jayden, Garcia throws with a lot of heat. Very weighted pitches. You can almost feel the effort that he's putting into them as attempts to pick off the runner over at first.
And I'm sure he's used to pitching when he's up, or when the Royals are up, I should say, but tonight it's a different story as the Royals are down 3. He's looking to minimize the damage.
That one, a very excellent placement by Garcia. Really pounding that outside with the fastball. I mean, we saw it a couple batters ago where he was sending it just inside. Now he's sending it purely outside as he looks to deliver the 1-1. That one sent on a line right into Andy Leader's glove. It's a glove story, and Andy Leader just said yes. The Royals are headed to the bottom of the 9th, down by 3, looking to crank up the heat. Heading into the home half of the 9th inning. Jayden, what do you think the Royals really need to get done to get this game back in their favor?
Well, you got to have good at-bats, and that's something that we have seen from some of the Royals' big bats earlier in this game. But that leadoff at-bat is crucial here in the bottom of the 9th. As the leadoff hitter, you just have to get on any way that you can. Lay down a bunt, get hit in the helmet, I don't care, just get on first base. Start us off right.
You heard the man. Getting on base is the name of the game for the Royals. And we'll be back in just a second as the new pitcher for the Barnstormers takes the mound for a couple warm-up tosses. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Josh Alderman and Jayden Prasad on the call. And it is crunch time. They say diamonds are made under pressure. Well, the lights are shining bright. No pressure, like the bottom of the 9th inning, the home side down by 3. And we've got a new pitcher in the game for the Barnstormers. Jayden, run down the stat line.
As Garrett Day gets a chopper to the right side, but it's through.
Great hit from the leadoff man, J.D. Williams. And after we were so rudely interrupted, Jayden, please take it away.
Well, number 38, Garrett Day, is on the mound from Chatham, Ontario. He stands at a tall 6'5" and has played for the Barnstormers for quite some time, being one of the top closers in the IBL. In 2024, he was second in the league in saves and had the lowest ERA on the Barnstormers of qualified pitchers. He had a 1.66 ERA in 2024.
Pretty tough test for any opponent, let alone the Royals, as Connor Morrow stepping up to the dish. A 1-0 count against him. Or, pardon me, in his favor. 1 ball, no strikes, runner on first, and no outs here in the top of the 9th. Shows bunt, but the pitch gets past him, and DiBiase defers the call to the first base umpire, who says that he didn't go around. Great work from Morrow to pull the bat back in time, so now it's a 2-0 count. Nothing fancy about that one. A fastball straight up Main Street brings the count to 2-1. Connor Morrow in his own right. No stranger to danger. One of the members of the Royals roster in his prime. 27 years old as Day tries to pick off Williams. Morrow, yet another returning player from last year's roster.
And just adding on to Garrett Day's outstanding season last year, from July 7th onward, he did not allow a single run.
Whew. Talk about tough tests, as that one clipped Connor Morrow on the hands. He is looking very shaken up.
Yeah, that one just barely grazed Morrow on the hand, but that is, of course, one of the most sensitive parts of the body. That's not where you want to get hit. You just gotta hope that he can stay in this game and that he's okay. The athletic trainer is out there with him.
Dino Ramel also there, keeping an eye on things. And yeah, like you mentioned, Jayden, whether it was just a brush or not, that has got to hurt. You can just hear a pin drop in David E. Hastings Stadium. The fans wanting to make sure he's okay, and gets a big round of applause as he's not too shaken up. He'll head down to first.
And all of a sudden, there will be a meeting on the mound as the tying run is coming to the plate here in the bottom of the ninth for the Guelph Royals.
And as expected, filling in for Garrett Takamatsu was the pinch runner last time up. Now the batter, Nathan Bell. We mentioned the 18-year-old got such impressive wheels. I mentioned before the stat line already. Pardon me. 2 triples on the season, 4 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. He has got speed and wheels for days.
Well, those are some great numbers, Josh, but with runners on first and second and nobody out, personally, I'd be expecting a bunt here from Bell. And hopefully the Barnstormers didn't hear me because it's pretty quiet after that hit by pitch. But thankfully, Morrow is okay. He's at first base as Nathan Bell steps into the box in what is now the biggest at-bat of the game.
Undoubtedly the biggest at-bat of his young career so far, as Bell is going to take that one inside. Smart move, and if he were to put it down for bunt, I honestly have absolutely no doubt that each man would make it safe. J.D. Williams, known as Mr. Left Turns only for a reason. Morrow very fast in his own right, and we've already mentioned the speed of Bell as that one outside, but pulled back in by Fukuda, able to frame it up as a strike. 1-1 the count.
Fukuda, a real nice job on that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Just maybe nicked the corner as it's 1-1.
Broken bat, chopper up to the mound. Williams out at third, and an interesting double play. Williams out at third, Bell out at first, and credit has to go to the defense. Oda, just a absolute textbook perfect throw over to first, just in time to beat the runner. And
oh, what a play that was. A comebacker back to the mound. Garrett Day made the throw to Ota at third base.
So that's going to bring up the last hope for the Royals here in this game. The big man, Liam Wilson, 3-time All-Star and genuine power threat. We mentioned before his 13 home runs and 45 RBIs in his last IBL season, 2023, with the Kitchener Panthers. Looking to tack on either of those statistics here tonight.
And Wilson is not just a power hitter. In 2023, he hit for a .323 batting average and had more walks than strikeouts. So a great eye at the plate for the Royals. Looking to make some magic happen here in the bottom of the ninth.
The 1-0 delivered by Day. Had some curve to it, but didn't break in time. 2-0 now the count. 2 outs. Morrow at second after the 1-5-3 double play. Things are looking dire for the Royals, but hey, diamonds are made under pressure. It's time to shine. As Wilson chops that one on the ground, he is barreling towards first. Not in time. Wilson, pardon me. Yep, Wagner Jr. stumbles and tumbles trying to grab onto that one. Hits the turf, hits the grass, sorry, here at Hastings, and Wilson is on board. We've got runners at the corners, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth for Andy Leader. This is what it all comes down to. These are those big moments that baseball players absolutely love. And it looks like we've got a pinch runner over at first. Instead of Wilson, I believe that is Ashton Patterson.
That certainly sounded like a broken bat there. Yet another broken bat, but the throwing error just pulled the first baseman off the bag. And this is without a doubt the biggest at-bat of the game. Tying run at the plate, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. This is what kids dream about.
Andy Leader looking to make his dreams a reality as he chops that one just foul. Brings the count to 0-2, and this is about as down to the wire as you can get.
And all of a sudden, David E. Hastings Stadium has turned into a library.
Yeah. Fans still trying to rally behind the home side. The runner will go, and Leader is going to pop that one up. Fukuda chasing, but it'll bounce up and above the grandstand. So Leader stays alive.
Andy Leader no longer looking to hit a home run, just looking to get on in any way he can and extend this inning. It's 0-2 on him. He's really got a battle against Day.
Day delivers the 0-2. That one sent on a line, tips off the glove of Wagner Jr. 1 run will come around to score. Patterson, the road runner, heading for third and will make it safely. So still runners on the corners, 2 outs, but now add 1 more to the scorecard. It is 4-2 now. Still in favor of the Barnstormers, but Jayden, do you think the tides are turning here in the bottom of the ninth?
Well, things could certainly be turning in favor of the Royals, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. Garrett Day is pitching really well. He probably should already be out of this inning if it weren't for that one little throwing error. But up comes Matthew Ward, who has been doing an excellent job behind the plate tonight for the Guelph Royals. He is the winning run, as it is now 4-2.
Has a hit and a walk in his night so far. He'll take either of those here up against Garrett Day. Delivers that one, chopped on the ground. Vasilenic flips it on to second. Morrison puts his foot to the bag, and that will do it. The Royals fought it out to the very end, but ultimately it was the Barnstormers' night to shine under the lights here at Hastings, taking this one 4-2. And you can really see how much this means to the Barnstormers. They haven't had the best start to the season, to put it lightly. 2-5. They're on a 4-game losing streak heading into this one. Well, that streak is dead and gone. Welcome back, Chatham Kent.
Well, the Barnstormers had an amazing start from their starting pitcher, Yuri O'Connor Yokoyama. 5 innings pitched, gave up just 3 hits, 3 walks. Didn't blow too many hitters away, only had 2 strikeouts, but 0 earned runs is the big number on the board. Pettipiece then came in relief. 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, it was unearned, just 1 strikeout. And the Royals didn't strike out a whole lot today, only 3 strikeouts for Guelph on the offensive side of things. They touched up Garrett Day for 3 hits, but ultimately they left a lot of runners in scoring position, and we're just unable to get those runs across, and that is what killed them tonight. They had some big opportunities there in the 9th inning. They had the runners on, but were unable to convert.
Couldn't have said it better myself. O'Connor Yokoyama picking up the first win of his young IBL career, and well-deserved at that. Really turned things around after struggling for the first 2 innings. Had a very stellar 4th and 5th. And who knows, maybe that was what really settled, the Barnstormers firmly in front in this one. Really impressive stuff from the youngster. And he'll be looking for even more his next time out. The Royals, though, really did play their hearts out, really did give it their all, but, and I mean, that does snap their 4-game winning streak, but they'll be looking to pick it back up in their next home game this Saturday against the Kitchener Panthers right here at David E. Hastings Stadium. Before that, they're making a quick trip out to Christie Pitts, a Friday night contest against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So still plenty of time, plenty of season left for the Royals to turn things around, but that's got to be pretty disheartening if you're the Royals to lose a game like that after you've left so many runners on base. Jayden?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a tough loss for the Royals. They did play well. Their pitchers did well. But ultimately, it was the offense that lost them this game. Although they only had 3 strikeouts, they did do a great job of putting the ball in play, but just weren't able to get that hard contact. And that is ultimately what cost them in the end. Unable to score those runners that were in scoring position. There were plenty of runners on base for them today. But again, gotta give credit to Yokoyama and Eric Pettipies, who threw 3 innings with no earned runs, and Garrett Day, who closed it out.
Well, some may say Tuesday night is still a school night. There are plenty of lessons to be learned from this one. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for this broadcast. Folks, subscribe to Guelph Royals TV. Subscribe on all social media platforms to get more Guelph Royals content, and, you know, maybe send a little something Chatham Kent Barnstormers' way. They have done a very impressive job in their first season of play, now heading into their second. That is going to do it for tonight's contest. Braxton Haggith and the Barnstormers take this one 4-2. So on behalf of our outstanding production crew, I'm Josh Alderman, he's Jayden Prasad, and we will see you next time on Guelph Royals TV.